Identifying Future Leaders, brought to you by the International Leadership Development Committee 2020. The following webinar has been prepared for you to review with your chapter and/or state organizations. As a webinar on the DKG website, this resource can be viewed and discussed as often as necessary. Let's begin. One of the most frequent concerns listed in surveys and in conversations with chapter and state leaders is the reticence of members to take on leadership roles. Conversely, in the same conversations with chapter and state leaders is the affirmation of how positive and fulfilling the time as leaders has proven once those positions have been experienced. During member orientation, it is explained that members contribute to the society by participating, sharing, seeking out opportunities, paying dues and fees, becoming involved, and accepting leadership roles. This presentation will provide guidance in identifying future leaders and the ways in which those members can be supported in their leadership journeys. Leadership development strategies should be high on the list of priorities for chapters and states. Key word here is strategies. This is an ongoing process, one that is well planned, has structure, and not haphazard. It's too late to make a plan when the nominations committee begins their search for new leaders. Current leadership teams should ask, who do we think will be a good future leader? Rather than, do we think blank makes a good leader? The first question allows for reflection and discussion of the whole group of potential leaders. The second question is limiting and does not support thinking about more than one person. Questions such as, who do we think will be a good future leader, speaks to the forward thinking of the group and the plan to develop the leaders. Acknowledging that each state organization size is different, this requires that current leaders are ever vigilant in their interactions throughout their state in identifying those members who demonstrate the qualities essential for leaders in our society. At the chapter and state level, this necessitates communication between members of the executive board in designing and carrying out their leadership development plans. Potential leader attributes. All of the qualities in the next two slides speak to the characteristics that contribute to a successful leader. While not observable in each person, nor easy to see alone, together these qualities point to the potential for leadership in our society. Level of engagement. How involved is your member? Are they available when necessary? Do they take on projects? Accountable. Does your potential leader take responsibility and hold themselves accountable for successes and failures? Team player. Your potential leader should work well with members of all ages and interests. They put the interests of the group before their own personal interests. They work for the good of the group. Form relationships. Potential leaders are people-oriented and focus on building personal relationships. Takes initiative. They don't need to be asked. They noticed what needs to be done and step up to volunteer. Strong communication skills. When this person speaks, others listen. They get to the point and are respected for their thoughts, opinions, and ideas. A strong communicator knows that listening is equally as important as speaking. Members know a good leader will seek their input and in turn feel comfortable in discussions and deliberations within their chapter and state meetings. Leaders with strong communication skills also know that questions should be genuine and lead to seeking answers that are not clearly defined and have more than one answer. Innovative. Potential leaders can offer the gift of innovation. What are the possibilities? What are the barriers? How can we overcome those barriers? What can we do next? Passionate. A potential leader displays passion in what's important to DKG and education. We don't expect leaders to be fully formed or developed when they take on leadership roles in DKG. That is why it is imperative to offer high quality, pertinent, and applicable leadership development at all levels of the society. Many of you have taken your turn at the leadership roles. It's tempting to get your new members up and running and into those open leadership positions. But that's not fair to the newer member or your chapter. Commit to taking the time to develop your new members' knowledge of Delta Kappa Gamma and the many opportunities for growth offered along the way. Start with something small that allows the potential leader some responsibility and satisfaction for completing a task. This is a long-term allegiance and one that will continue to provide mutual satisfaction through the years if allowed to develop in a planned manner. A mentor is a positive role model, provides guidance as well as constructive feedback, builds mutual respect and trust, is willing to share skills, knowledge, and expertise, is committed. It is important to match the mentor to the mentee. Sometimes that will be a past officer who has the experience necessary to provide the guidance and skills pertinent to the individual. Sometimes the mentor is someone who connects well with the mentee or future leader. The important point here is that aspiring leaders should feel there is someone they can turn to at any time for guidance, advice, and support. Mentors play an important role in nurturing future leaders. Start your search now. From day one, a new member should feel welcomed, valued, and supported. The nurturing of this member points to their development as your future leader. Invest in the future of DKG. Identify and nurture leaders. Your future leaders are out there. It's up to you and your members to develop your plan and implement those strategies that will yield your new leaders.